Alright, so here's another tidbit. If you have fiber that has easily discernible locks that you can grab and pull, another way that you can comb is to pull that lock loose and then set it into your comb. And that way you're guaranteed, so to speak, that all of your fibers, tip to tail, are going the right direction. This takes a lot more time and effort, and depending on the fleece that you're working with, you may or may not want to put that effort in. So you can see all that, it separates out. I'm a lazy spinner, so I would just as soon lash it on and get it on there as quick as I can so I can process through it as quick as I can and not worry about all the pretty curls here and there and whatever. I save that for the ones that have the fancy animals and the time and patience to do it. But what you see here is all these extra tips, and then what you're going to do is you're going to gently tease through those tips literally just a little bit at a time. And then you slowly start working deeper in. Once you get the tips open, you're going to start working deeper into the fiber to get more of the veggie matter out, to align the fibers to make it easier to spin. There's some short tips in here. Those will probably get cleaned out in the muck. So I ended up with a big wad behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that off and I'm going to reset it so that I can actually comb through the fiber instead of throwing it away as waste. Because there's plenty of good usable fiber there. It just got lashed on in a wad instead of aligned. And anything not usable in that wad will come out in the next combing. So that gives me just a little bit of fuzz on the bottom. You want to make sure that when you're cleaning this off, you don't pull too deep into that, because these are going to be super short. And when you get to the back of it, it's all just yuck. There's nothing usable there in spinning. It's just going to make nasty knots and whirls in your yarn, and it's going to affect the quality of your yarn. So you keep it nice and easy. Just pass through again. Some of this was not as well cleaned as the first demo I did, so it's a little more chunky and a little more work to get through. But that's okay. It'll all come out in the wash, so to speak. Anything that's still dirty will come out in the wash and set of the spin. Or if with this nice color, this is a good color for dyeing if you want to dye with it. And any dirt will come off at that point. And you don't have to worry about dirt affecting your dye depending on the types of dye you're using. If you're using a good quality wool dye, it's not going to be affected by a little bit of dirt. That dirt will just come off in the soak of the dyeing process. And we're working our third run through. You can see I've got a couple of icky spots there, so I'm going to turn it. I have to work it carefully because if you work the wrong way, you can pull the whole wad off, and then you've got a real mess of a nightmare. That's why I say in most cases you're working away from your holding comb or your standing comb. And I probably overloaded this one, but like I said, I'm a lazy spinner. I want to get this part of the process done as quick as possible so I can actually get to the spinning. I like the spinning. So a little bit of fluff. Nice. And sometimes you get a firm grip on it, but not too tough, because if it's too tough, you'll pull out these little nubbies. And you don't want these. That's going to leave knots in your yarn. Alright, we're ready to pull this off and add it to the rest of the cloud. When I pull the fluff off, I try very hard to put it all facing the same direction in my tub so that when I go to feed it onto my drum carder, I can pull from one section and they're all going to be lining up the same direction. Just one more way to make it easier to spin from it once you take it off your drum carder.